Good morning, good morning. Today is half base Iyar. I wanted to start with the Yom Yom. I don't know, it touched me so much this morning. It says that once the earlier Hasidim, the year of Taf Kuf Mem Daled or Zayin, they were Farbrengen, and the content of their conversation was that the Rebbe, which means the Alter Rebbe, accomplished that one is not alone anymore. That means it used to be that the Rebbe, the Reish Mesifta or the Gaon, the genius, the scholar, was alone, and the Talmidim, the students, were alone. The way of Hasidus, which the Rebbe founded, the Alter Rebbe, was the greatest divine accomplishment which brings to the reality in which the Rebbe is not alone and the Hasidim are not alone. So I was thinking, we are Bashgacha Pratis, Sai in Shaar Hayichud and Sai and some of the people in the group are in the same two groups. In Samach Vav, we're learning a lot about Atzilus, the world of Atzilus. And the world of Atzilus is like today's Yom Yom. That it could be, God forbid, that the Rebbe is alone and we are alone, which means it could be that there is the infinite, which is by itself, and we, worlds, creations, the finite, that are alone. And the Alter Rebbe accomplished that he is not alone, the Rebbe is not alone, and the Talmidim are not alone, the Hasidim are not alone, which means Atzilus came up, which I heard that the Alter Rebbe couldn't even say had difficult saying the whole word Atzilus. He used to say Atz, like couldn't finish saying the word, because was his experience. And the Alter Rebbe brought Atzilus into our reality. What is Atzilus? Atzilus is that connector, is that world of infinite that bridges between the infinite and the finite. And that's very meaningful for us, because now Elokus is not alone and we are not alone. Now we are bridged. We are connected. And in terms of our human experience, that's what the Rebbe does. That he is the bridge, that we are not alone, disconnected from Elokus, disconnected from the sweetness, from the Tainug of Torah, from the Ein Sof, from the Elokus in Torah. We are not alone. And that's what the Rebbe does, beginning from the Alter Rebbe, the Baal Shem Tov, the Magi, the Alter Rebbe, Mittler Rebbe. Now we're learning his Torah in a manner of Izbonenus, Bina. Today is Gvura Shebe'esod, so this is like the discipline of
bonding,
of the bond, of the commitment, to the commitment, to the balance and the putting together of all the person, the way it is all coming to Yesod, All right, good luck, and we are fortunate to experience this. Okay, very good. So we are on page Kuf Pei Tes, which is 377. The line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, nine lines from the bottom of the right side. The line that begins umisached bo besachlis. So let's do a quick review. The thing of internalizing, this is like the reflection in our learning of the Iyar Tachtonim, that we really try to internalize. It's not just a matter of enjoying the moment of understanding and then going back to our life, but really taking it in. Like this is the nature of Memale Kol Almin, that we discussed many times, that is such a unification between the soul and the body, that it's not like a mixer, that you plug it and you turn on the electricity and now the mixer becomes alive. No, the mixer turns, but all the plastic of the mixer and the metal part of the mixer are not becoming alive. There is no such union. It makes it turn quickly. When it comes to the soul in the body, there is a yichud nifla, that the body becomes alive. It's not just the soul just that operates the body like a robot, like a vacuum cleaner, like a mixer, like a refrigerator. Then we would be like robots. But now the body is mamash alive, each and every cell of it. So in the learning, if we take the learning like that seriously, and not remain superficial as long as we showed up to the shiur on time, but we really take, and again, I don't know why today is a Kaka Musar day. I don't know. It's not a rebuke. I want to inspire you to look at this possibility, but we really try to live with it and to bring ourselves into it, bringing it into ourselves, as the Rebbe says in Tanya Perek Hey. When we are taking it in and making it by personalizing it and reviewing it and making every cell of our being alive with it, then this is the Iyar Tachtonim in learning, and it's the part that usually the Nefesh HaBahamis doesn't like, because the Nefesh HaBahamis likes to get excited by chidushim. It doesn't like chazara. Give me next, from pleasure to pleasure. Anyhow, okay. So let's do a little review from the beginning of that paragraph. So we are still in the mashal of kochos hanefesh in relation to the nefesh itself, the powers of the soul in relation to the soul itself, which is a mashal obviously to the spheros in relation to Or and Sof. So generally we said, or we learned, that there are three stages, the way the powers of the soul are coming out from the essence of the soul. One is the way they are as part of the essence of the soul. These are the kochos hakvuim unetuim. They are fixed and implanted. What does it mean? We are talking about, we didn't speak about it last time, I think. We are talking about, I'm going back to the nimshal. We are talking about kochos hanefesh as a nimshal to the spheros. What's the inyan of the 10 spheros? What's the inyan of the 10 kochos hanefesh? The inyan of the 10 kochos hanefesh is to megale the nefesh, is to reveal the soul. And that is, if you want, I don't want to go to a discussion there because it deviates too much, but we are talking mainly even about the first thing that came up in Hashem's thought is the kelim. which means the kelim are megale the or. How can the light reveal itself? Only through a keli. The light without a keli is dark. You get it? You get it? The light without a keli is dark. There's no gilui, it's helem. That's keser. Okay? That's keser. No keli. So if you look again, now we're learning it again. So מובן מכל הנ"ל, there are three מדרגות נמשכים זה אחר זה from the essence of the soul. The first one is the way the koichos are in the essence of the soul. Meaning what? בחינת 10 koichos קבועים ונטועים. These are 10 powers that are fixed and implanted in the essence of the soul. So what's the difference? You can also look at it, בחינת גילוי, שהם גם כן, they are also, you can also look at it, at the 10 koichos that we are part of and implanted in the essence of the soul, בחינת גילוי אור הנפש. It's like the gilui of the light of the soul. It's like almost like by a person, lahavdil, is like self-awareness. Or not, and even beyond that, the way the self is revealed to itself, even beyond, even above chokhmah, is the ability of the self to be aware. And that's gilui or nefesh. It's like the possibility of the nefesh to be revealed from the state of etzem, because etzem and gilui is an oxymoron. It are two opposite things, right? Essence and revelation are two opposite things. So we can look at 10 koichos hanefesh or 10 spheros in Or Ein Sof that are implanted as part of Or Ein Sof as gilui Or hanefesh, the gilui Or Ein Sof, the gilui, the inyan of spheros. Okay, weiter. But what gilui is it? The gilui of Or Atzmuso. It is only the gilui of the light of the self, that's it. No relation to another. Yet. למעלה מבחינת כלל לפרט עדיין. Meaning that in that stage A, we have A, B, C, Aleph, Beis, Gimel. At stage A, Aleph, the koichos are in a state so much one with the soul itself, with the essence of the soul, you cannot distinguish between one another. You cannot distinguish between these koichos and this nefesh itself. It's one. Therefore, they are not even in a state of klal leprat yet. Sometimes you can say, like we look at Adam Kadmon. Adam Kadmon is the klal that includes all the pratim that will unfold. You cannot say it in the stage A. You can say it's stage B, not stage A. So למעלה מבחינת כלל לפרט. Then you have the second stage. So at that stage, you cannot distinguish between the powers and the nefesh at all. You can say that they are revealing the nefesh in relation to itself, whatever it means. That you can say. That's the agenda of spiros, or koiches, legalot, to reveal. But what is revealed there? The essence itself, nefesh in relation to itself. Finished. Then comes the second stage. Habeis 10 kochos hagnuzim. These are the 10 hidden, treasured, hidden, concealed powers, bivchinas ratzon leratzon, which is called Kabbalistically a desire to desire. Which, what is that? That is a reflection of merutzas hanefesh lechutz mimkomo. How the nefesh is running, is turning towards outside of its own place. relates to something else. Which means, now we're in Sfiras HaYesod, this is the connection. You're creating a relation with something else, something other than the self. But it's all b'derech klal, in a very general, there's no pratim there. It's all a general hamshacha, general, how do you say hamshacha? A general flow that is directed towards anything or everything but the self. Obviously, it's an extension of the self, very much so, an expression of the self, but the other is already there, one way or another. There's stage B. And this, the Gimel, the stage C, is b'chinas gilui 10 kochos bifrat. It is the gilui of 10 kochos individually, but we are not in a keli yet. We are talking about oros, lights, which means the 10 kochos כמו שהמה בבחינס הרצון כנ"ל. The way they are still in a manner of ratzon, of a desire. We say desire to the desire. Now, from desire to the desire, we are in the desire. Means from Adam Kadmon, we are in Keser or Batzilus. Keser, Arichenati. So nothing happened yet, but something is beginning. Because now they will form the, we said last time that if a person, let's say, is kind in his essence, then there will be a hamshacha klalis, which means a desire for chesed. Constantly there will be a leaning towards kindness, a desire to want to do chesed. And then the 10 kochos, what does it mean that the 10 kochos now are being revealed on the level of ratzon? Meaning that now there is a specific desire to do this chesed or that chesed. It is a ratzon that is shayach to asiya. I would like to give tzedakah. I would like to teach. I would like to nurture. I would like to volunteer, whatever it is. My time, my money, myself, my love, whatever it is. But the Rebbe says, עדיין בחינה זאת היא למעלה מגדר כלי, או אור בכלי. It's higher than yet, or in a keli. Or in a keli begins in Atzilus itself. Meaning, this is still all mostly superconscious. Which means it's before the or is coming into the keli, which the first keli is chokhmah, which means awareness. So this is like hamshacha pnimit in the nefesh itself. There are now hamshacha towards the other, but it didn't materialize yet. It becomes first hamshacha klalis, a general hamshacha, which kabbalistically will be Adam Kadmon, and it's or 10 kochos hagnuzim bivchinas ratzon leratzon, 10 kochos that are concealed, it's a helem, in a manner of a tendency, a ratzon to want chesed, a ratzon to a general desire to want to do kindness and to, or by an intellectual, a general tendency to want to be engaged intellectually in this wisdom or that wisdom or whatever it is. And only after that, but all this is just the way the or is coming out from the nefesh. Nefesh is light. The guf is the ultimate keli, right? Nefesh, we're talking about the relation between the soul and the body. The body is the ultimate keli here, the vessel, and the soul is the light. So far we are not yet, there is no merging yet with the body. It's just what happened to the soul from the moment, first of all, when the soul was not interested yet to relate to the body, and therefore all these powers were dormant there, they were part of the soul, and you couldn't distinguish between them and themselves, or between them and the soul. And then there is this oirus of the nefesh to animate the body. And there comes internally, in the nefesh, a hamshacha klalit, a general drawing, flow from the nefesh, which is intended to interact eventually with the body. And there, everything that is going to occur to the nefesh as the life force of the body throughout the lifetime of the person will be all included there in a manner of a klal. If before stage A we said we cannot call it a klal to a part, a general to the detail, here in stage B we can say yes, it's a general that includes all the details that will unfold. But all this is before the nefesh really merges with the body. And אחר כך, I'm gonna come back. ואחר כך, after that, only after that, נעשה מזיגס הכלי, או הכלים, מחוכמה ולמטה חולו. Only after that, there is a merge and a blending with, or merge of, and a blending with the light with the keli, beginning from chokhmah and going downwards, bina and so on and down. That is already D. But Rebbe doesn't even call it D because nowadays we know that once the or gets into a keli, number one, there is a change in the nature of the light. And number two, there is agbala in the expression of it. There will be a limitation. There will be a possibility of limitation. Anyhow, as we have been learning in the previous letter.
If you could just explain stage A again.
Stage A is to understand that if we are talking about the relation between the nefesh and the koiches and the powers of the nefesh as two, so to speak, entities, there's a nefesh, number one, and there's the powers of the nefesh, number two. In stage A, you cannot say two. In stage A, there is only one. There is the essence of the soul, and the possibility that 10 powers will come from there. But what is their state in the essence of the soul? They have no yeshus at all, and no metzius. They have no self-existence there, that you can distinguish them, and one from the other. They're all one between themselves, and one, and between all of them and the soul itself, the essence of the soul, what it is. You can't differentiate. It's total oneness. What is called in Shaar Hayichud, Perek Yud, Yachid, rather than Echad.
Is that the same thing as saying just essence of the soul, or is it one step below that?
You can say it's essence of the soul. in the
Okay.
context of this discussion.
Right.
You know, in another discussion, I always say, don't cement anything. That's what
Right.
one of my teachers
Right.
used to tell me. Don't
Yeah.
cement anything. Because in another context, even that, what is the essence of the soul? We're talking about the essence of soul, the way it is in relation to spheros. You
Right.
know, the essence of the soul is nothing to do with spheros. Spheros is about Gilui. The essence of the soul is not about Gilui, it's about being one with God. So, but in this context, yes, this is the essence of the soul. Sometimes there is in Chassidus there is the Yechida. Talk about the Yechida Shebanefesh, and sometimes there is the Nitzos Yachid in the Yechida. You know,
Mhm.
so anyhow, right now, first Bechlal, as we many times mentioned, the soul has no interest to become a animating force of a body altogether. The nature of light is that it wants to be attached to its source. Attachment to godliness in any way possible.
And they
It's
exist
not. We
as
cannot go
souls?
into details of what it means, what Gan Eden, this, but you know, the nature of the soul is like light. It constantly wants to be in dveikus to the ma'or, to the source, and goes Michael el Chayil.
Is this Knesset? Is this what's known as Knesset Yisrael?
No, we're talking
No.
about Gan Eden. Knesset Israel is like the Malchus of Atzilus, from where all the souls are Yud, if how you spell it in English, are carved out. You know, like that's the collective soul, collective Jewish soul, which is um, very much a sister, so to speak, or a reflection, a reflection in the manner of Adam, of the Shechina, which is Malchus of Atzilus. So that's the collective Jewish soul. And then from there, that's the Malchus of Atzilus, and from there is a Yerida through the three garments of Bria, Yetzira, and Asiya, which means Machshava, Dibur, and Maise, and down to this physical Asiya, to be mislabish, invested and enclosed and manifesting through and with a physical body. It's tremendous, Yerida. And it's a marshal to Oren Sof. Lehavdil elf alfei abdalos. So, but still, this is the process of Seder Ishtalshelus. This is the process of how the spheres are coming out of Oren Sof in a process of godliness constricting and concealing or directing and channeling itself to be able to become the vitalizing energy and life force of each and every world, all the way down to this physical world, including this holy group of neshamas in bodies that are now discussing the wisdom and even higher, the infinity of God. So the neshama, we got to the three stages, all the way down, so to speak, not all the way, but down to the not ratzon leratzon, but ratzon for a specific manifestation. If it's chokhmah, chokhmah, ratzon to engage in some certain topic or subject, or if it's a chesed, ratzon to do a specific chesed. It's all on the level of ratzon yet, no keli. That means or. Now this is, we said, even before it comes to a keli. Only after that it begins to come into a keli, chokhmah and down to the 10 spheros. Now we have oros bekelim, that's atzilus. That's a conscious person, a full person. Meaning neshama beguf. Now the Rebbe says, "Hine gilui ratzon haklali," the revelation of the general ratzon, which means ratzon le ratzon, or Adam Kadmon, or the second stage. It's called also Raiva the Raivin. This is what we're experiencing Shabbos afternoon. Shabbos afternoon is time to connect with your own self-image. Not self-image in terms of the ego, like who you are. But this is your personality. Who you are. What are you about? What's unique to you? How are you a channel, individual channel to that which you are here to reveal? You know, that's the Raiva the Raivin. So this first Gilui, which is called Ratzon LeRatzon, the stage B, הוא בחינת גילוי פשוט ועצמי עדיין. It is very plain. פשוט means simple, but it means not compound. It's very essential still. It's very עצמי, very much an expression of the self. והוא בדומה לעצם הנפש. So this gilui of the tendency, of the ratzon to ratzon, of your innate self-image, the way you perceive your true self, is very much still a pure gilui of this nefesh itself. You can tell from stage B, you can totally connect to and tell a lot about stage A. What nefesh it is. So between A and B, there is a very intimate connection. B is a very much reflection of A. But, אך גילוי רצון הפרטי מרצון הכללי, but when we go from B to C, B to C meaning from a general ratzon that could or not come about or be fulfilled, to a specific ratzon, depends on the sphere, which sphere to do or to be engaged in this or that. You are still nothing about, no action is taken, just a ratzon, but now it's a specific ratzon. So in the transition from B to C, which means from general ratzon to a specific ratzon, which means from Adam Kadmon to Keser of Atzilus, יוכל להיות שהוא בבחינת שינוי המהוס. It can happen that it will be completely a different nature. You know, it will be from ratzon to ratzon to do kindness, for kindness. There will be a specific ratzon it's a ratzon for a woman to go to a kitchen and cook a meal. So now it's a ratzon to cook a meal. But what is it? It is still an extension of the ratzon to kindness. She's doing it to give the meal to somebody who needs it. But there is a complete shinui mahus, from a general ratzon to kindness to cooking a meal, to a will to cook a meal. It's a shinui mahus. Now there is a will to cook a meal. It's a big change, right? From a general tendency for kindness to a general will to want kindness, to a specific will to cook a meal. There's a shinui mahus. It changes. Now the expression is completely changed from a general thing of kindness to cooking a meal, to the wish to put a meal together. Why? So this is between B and C. Still on the level of ratzon. From general ratzon to specific ratzon though. From B to C. כיוון שנגלה בבחינס פרט שזהו דבר חדש, since the wish for chesed is now revealing itself in a specific way, this is davar chadash. This is a new thing. It's cooking a meal. This is davar chadash. In comparison to the tendency and the innate leaning for kindness. It took on a new form. It's a big leap, yeah. שלא היה בעצמוס הנפש עדיין הפשוט בתכליס. You cannot say that cooking a meal was in עצמוס הנפש in the most pure, plain state. There was no cooking meal there. You can say that the koichos hanefesh were there in completely oneness with the soul, but there was no cooking meals there. No wish to cook meals there. Ach be'emes eino ken. But the truth is, it's not so. Because this wish to cook a meal is not about cooking a meal. It's an expression, after all, it's a big chinui hamahus, it's a big change, but it's still an expression of kindness. Because she's doing it to help someone. So this is not true that it's like, oh, you could see it's such a tzimtzum, there's esh me'ayin. There's no connection between the new and the old. No, it's still an extension. באמס אינו כן, it's not detached. רק הוא גם כן גילוי פשוט עדיין. It is still a pure revelation of the nefesh itself. הוא משחד בעצמוס הנפש ממש. And it does unite with the soul itself, because it's still an expression of the soul, which is a kind soul. וראיה לזה, as we learned last time, the proof, this shiur is chazara basically. So ראיה לזה, the proof for it, ממה שלא יוכל להיות שינוי בבחינת הרצון מעצמוס טבעו אפילו בכחוט הסיירה. That on the level of desire, a person who is kind בעצם would never desire cruelty. You cannot change that nature even like a thread of a hair, the width of a hair. כחוט הסיירה. So that means you can't deviate. On the level of Ratzon, we will learn that from the level of Chokhmah down, you can. With your Sechel, you decide you'll go against what you desire. But on the level of desire, you can't desire that which is opposite what your nature is, what your essence is. You can force yourself to do something against as a result of the Sechel, but you cannot force yourself to desire it. Why? Because the level of Ratzon, the level of desire, is still an expression of the soul itself. If he is a kind person, he will always have different manifestations of retzoinus to do kindness. And if he is cruel by nature, he will always have a tendency to want to do things that are insensitive or hurtful, God forbid. So what is it a proof? It's a proof that the level of Ratzon is still an expression of the soul itself. ומשחד בו בתכלס, and unites with the soul completely. Which means from the essence of the soul down to the stage B, the revealed kochos hanefesh, and stage C, when now it becomes to a general Hamshacha, to a specific Ratzon, from Ratzon LeRatzon to a specific Ratzon, it's completely one with the soul. It's a complete expression of the soul itself. Even though when it is a Ratzon to cook a meal, it looks so different. Yes, it is Shinui, it's a big change, but it's not a disconnect. It's an expression of the kindness, which is in the essence of the soul. And next time, Mirza Hashem, we will continue from where we stopped. But Bli Neder, I'm not going to give Chazara. So let's hope that through the questions that Sarid will post, we will review and ready to move on. Be'ezras Hashem. Keser, this specific ratzon, is called Hatchala. It's a beginning of the process because this ratzon is bound to happen. Whether it will fail or not, it's something else. But it is bound to, it's a beginning to a process that will actually be revealed in Chokhmah, beginning, then will be in the first Kli, Oros Bekelim, and down to all the other Kochos HaNefesh until it will be expressed in Maaseh B'Poal. Chokhmah can force, as you see in the parenthesis here, a little bit higher than where we start, Masha'enken mi chokhmah lemayla, which means on the level up to Keser, up to Ratzon, you can't deviate from the way you are. Meaning, you can't desire, even a specific desire. You can't change your general desire, which means desire to desire this or desire to desire that. You can't change your personality, who you are. And you can't even change the specific retzoinus, a specific desire that you have to be different than what you are. Even if the desire is already specific. If you are kind, it will be a desire, specific desire, a specific desire to manifest this kindness this way or that way, in many ways to manifest kindness. But you cannot deviate at all from your tendency and from your personality. From the level of Chokhmah, which means Oros Bekelim, and down, Yishtane mahus tiv'is hanefesh, the nature of the nefesh changes, governed by one's consciousness, Tzipi, awareness, עד שיוכל לעשות היפך טבעו על פי חיוב השכל. Until, to the extent that he can master, as we are built moach shalit al halev, that he can master himself to the extent, לעשות, to do היפך טבעו, to do the opposite of what he instinctively or naturally or impulsively wants in the moment. That begins from Keli, which is the Chokhmah, the self-awareness, the self-consciousness. We ended the shiur last time with that, Tzipi, right? We spoke about it. That's the time. How do we get up from the couch? We have to go back to Adam Kadmon, to Ratzon LeRatzon, to create a specific Ratzon to get up. But you have to go to who am I and what am I doing here? And therefore, what should I do next? And then it's hopefully in Be'ezrat Chai HaChaim. Today the Tanya is how do you get to do the shuv all the time? Because sometimes you would like to stay on the couch and even from the couch to go straight to heaven. That's why your behavior now changes. Your nature of behavior changes. Why? Because as long as it was Ratzon, it was a reflection of it's instinctive and direct and unwavered reflection of who you are and your essence. That's it. But from Chokhmah, you can go against your nature, meaning it says B'Chokhmah is Buriru. The birur, the clarification happens in Chokhmah. In Chokhmah, you clarify to yourself what's going on. And when you did it, you got to the conclusion that you need rest. And now it's mevoar, it's clear. There's no conflict. And you can even act in a way that is opposite to your nature, to go out there and make a difference and make a change in the other, in the world. And now you decide, no, the next hour I'm on the couch, relaxing. Hashem helps. Every day can be Geula. Every day can be an hour. And the Geula, there is no end. And we are so fortunate to have Hasidus, to have the Rebbeim that care about us so much that it's like an infinite love, infinite. You see in the way, and including the Mashpiim, like Reb Hillel Paritcher. We are learning Reb Hillel Paritcher Bio on chapter Chav Ches. They gave everything they could. You can see they give you everything they could and explain it again and again and again and better and better. Like you see so much love, infinite love and care here, and this is all an expression of Elokus itself. That this is what Hashem wants, to give Himself to us.
So in Chokhmah, you could change to your actions to perform the new Ratzon, but the aspect of Tainug of the Nefesh you'll never have. Because in essence, you're going against your nefesh. So will you have the tainug?
Yes, but a different tainug. It will not be the tainug of fulfilling your tendency. It will be the tainug of mastering yourself on behalf of Dira B'Tachtoni, of Amshacha of Or Ein Sof. That's the tainug of Pnimius HaKeser. That's already the tainug of back to Etzem HaNefesh. This is today's Chitas. It is discussing there are two Ratzonos really. There are two Ratzonos. Maybe if I deviate from what you asked, bring me back, Fegi. But today's Chitas in Tanya is the Al Kochachata, the end of the Tanya today. Al kochachata chai, and the al kochachata dot. Against your will you are alive, and against your will you decide what you want. What is this oscillating between one and the other? Because there are two ratzonos. There is the ratzon of the soul, and that is to just merge in Elokus, to expire. This is the Avar. This is the Avaz Kemalas, this is chapter Nun. In Tanya, Kemalas Azahav ala Kesef. We got to the ultimate Kesef, ultimate love of Ava B'Tanugim, and now the Rebbe tells us in Perek Nun that this Ava Kemalas Azahav ala Kesef, the Ava B'Tanugim, but it's been higher than that. It is such an infinite love that it's not only like mine, but it is back to fire. Like a zav. Zav is gold, is reddish, versus kesef, which is like mine, which is whitish. So that's one ratzon of the neshama. The neshama is like wants to expire and go to Elokus, become one, go home. And then there is the ratzon of Hashem, of Dira B'Tachtoni. So, in terms of the ratzon of the neshama, that is now under iskafia, because of chokhmah, because of the awareness of, and through chokhmah you make your choices. Through your consciousness and awareness, beginning with chokhmah, you make your choices. And the choice, once the neshama, and this is the oscillation, that we go back, there's always ratzon v'shov, which is, and one ratzon inspires the other. It's like a wheel that returns and goes up and down, which means the neshama has her own individual ratzon. What is the ratzon? To go up and go to Tati Vavinu B'Shamayim, to our Father in heaven. Okay, it goes up to our Father in heaven, and you get to the top of Shiur Chasidus, you feel like your neshama is leaving your body. And what do you feel when you leave the body? You meet God, and God says, hi, how are you? I'm so happy to be with you. Well, join me. I am completely engaged in Dira B'Tachtonim. Oh, really? That's what you're all about? All right, let's do Dira B'Tachtonim. Shuv La'echad. Going back. And now the Ratzon inspired, the Ratzon of Hashem is now being fulfilled. And we are going back and forth, when without one, they cannot do the other. So in terms of going back to your question, in a way, when Chokhmah decides to go against the Keser, the natural Keser, which means against the specific desire that is reflecting who I naturally am, then there is in terms of that, there is a pushing off or not being dictated by that type of tainug for the sake of another person, of another purpose. It could be another ratzon also. Could be that you have to suppress one or not follow one ratzon for the sake of another specific ratzon. We have all kind of voices in our mind. In anyhow, it's a long discussion. It's also nefesh elokish, nefesh ba'amis, all this ego, not ego. But bottom line is that when because of this choice to not to follow the instinctive tendency, rather to do something else because of a conscious decision, and in this context, because of dira b'tachtonim or fulfilling Hashem's will, not just my own tendency, that connects me with the tainug of Ein Sof. It's like the tainug of Kabbalah that Kabbalah's all brings us to. And that's why there's such an intimate connection between Malchus and Chokhmah. Malchus carrying out Kabbalah's all, Malchut Shamayim, Malchus, and Chokhmah, because between the daughter and the father. Because in Chokhmah you can choose. And when you choose, you can have Kabbalah's all, carrying it out, and then you are, Chokhmah is now benefiting from the essence of Malchus, of Kabbalah's all, which is Keser Malchus.
Kabbalah's all is the daughter?
Yeah, Malchus. David HaMelech.